Hello, mindful friends. Today we're going to be talking about the question, is mindfulness selfish? So I've heard this question from many of my clients and friends asking, is all that introspection and time spent nurturing self, taking care of self, is it selfish? And do we become so preoccupied with self that we stop engaging with or noticing or taking care of the world around us? Now, I can see why this question comes up and why it is kind of an image or an idea around mindfulness or meditation, as when we are meditating in the formal practice or doing like our mindful yoga, we very much are kind of centered around self. We're quiet, we're, in meditation, you're on the floor, you're sitting cross-legged, you're closing your eyes. It seems very closed inward. But as many of us have experienced before in meditating on our own or in groups or in large, worldwide meditations, is those times where you are intentionally directing attention creates healing energy within yourself, but then the real goal is that it reverberates outward into the world around you, and it's creating this ripple effect out and beyond. And it all comes down to, what is our intention? So whenever people come to me to start building their practice, we always start with our big why, our big intention. And when we break it down and get to kind of the heart of what people are doing when they're engaging in a mindfulness practice, it almost always boils down to them wanting to be a better presence in the world. So being able to show up for others, the planet, the world, as their authentic self, offering what they really have to offer and receiving back in a way that feels genuine and authentic. So it creates this kind of exchange and interbeing with the world around us. So when we set these intentions in our practice, now our mindfulness practices are times that we dedicate towards being with self and nurturing self and understanding self. At the root of them and the heart of them is this intention to then be able to show up well for the world around us. I kind of think about it like on the airplane where they say you got to put your oxygen mask on before you help your family, your seat partner, whatever. Because if you're suffocating, you can't breathe, you're on the verge of dying, you can't do very much for others. And the same thing here is true as what we're doing with our mindfulness practice. Yes, sometimes, it depends the person and the level of need there of each individual. Sometimes it can look like a heck of a lot of time spent nurturing self. But that just means we needed a lot of oxygen to start being able to breathe well again, to be healthy again, to be able to come back and show up for life in a way that's genuinely helpful for others, a genuine positive presence for others. So we always make sure that we're setting this intention into our practice. It's not just for self-indulgence and pampering ourselves and having time alone. That time alone and that time in introspection is moving towards our intention of being a positive presence in the world. So I think about this with when we have the balance between looking out into the world and helping the world and looking inward and helping ourselves is, if we're turning outward and we haven't done that work to kind of settle and nurture and meet our needs, we can be showing up in ways that, one, might be depleting us or creating kind of resentments or frustration or fatigue in us. But then we can also be giving help that's not really genuine or not aligned with what we're really wanting to create in the world, because we haven't remembered that. We haven't come back to our own alignment. And what it does is it depletes energy within us, but then it also doesn't create as much of a ripple effect, because it's not that kind of genuine aligned a support for the world around us. So we think in our mindfulness practice, as we're coming back, and the reason we're spending time with self is to notice, what are our needs, right? What is it that's within us that needs nurturing, that needs support, that needs assistance? And that's putting your oxygen mask on. So you're spending that time to look at that and be, whoa, what's going on in my mind? And we look at what's creating the negative reactions or the negative mindsets or our behavior that's not so helpful in the world. And when we nurture that, we're investigating, what does it need? What would be supportive for this? What can help me resolve this within myself or move through it? When we take care of ourselves in that way and nurture ourselves, meet our own needs, now you build this mindful awareness, right? Meeting your needs takes your preoccupation off of self and helps open your mind to what's really happening in the world around you. Then we can use that mindful presence to be the curious observer. And that knowledge that you built of examining your own needs applies to then being very mindfully aware of the needs around you in the world. What would actually be nurturing to the world? What would actually make more peace here? And now you're so aligned because you've taken care of your needs and you've kind of been able to reconnect with the heart and what really matters, that when you're observing out in the world, you see those discrepancies of where is it not aligned? What would actually generate more healing in the world? And when you engage in it, you engage it in ways that feel really authentic to you and are aligned with intentions and motivations that are the values of your heart, your true values. Versus sometimes if we're helping and our needs haven't been met, we can be helping under false pretenses and not even know it. It could be that I need to do this for others so it meets this need in my ego. Or I'm doing this because I'm hurt in this way, and I'm assuming that others are hurt in this way and need, this same kind of care. So being able to take care of self is starting to kind of pacify, calm those voices and needs within us so that we can really hear the needs of the world and see the needs of the world without our own blocks, resentments, angers, frustrations, whatever it is, blocking us from seeing. They put on they're like a mask for us. We're looking through uncared for goggles out into the world and can't see as clearly how we can be of true service. So yes, in mindfulness practice, you do spend a lot of time taking care of yourself. But if it's under the right intention and it's moving you towards being this positive presence in the world, then it's not a selfish practice. So I invite you this week to look into that for yourself. How are you meeting your own needs, and what's your intention behind that, and then notice on a little scale, it doesn't have to be all your needs are met, you're all better. On a little scale, if I meet this one need for myself on this one day, how does it help me to show up for others and the world? If you enjoy these little talks and would like to join us for a group session or individual coaching, you can find us at newleafmindfulness.com. And all these teachings and more are in my book, Living from the Heart, Healing Ourselves So We Can Heal the World, which is now a paperback and an audiobook. And you can buy that anywhere that you buy your reading material. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you all very soon.